Oh, I'm cleaning out. Oh, nothing happen. Oh, my feeling, feeling so bad. Nothing so bad. Feeling, feeling, still. Oh, well, I never told you I was a musician, so don't worry. I ain't singing for you. But we do need to talk now, don't we? See, the very first time I tried these out, I had someone standing around like a nanny. Today, it's just me, and as many of you are scared to join me. So when I goof, just know there is nobody around to help me. So if I goof, you're just going to have to bear with me. This is not my day job. I don't even have a job again. I'm a jobless mooner now. So what do we want to talk about today? Oh, yeah, sorry. No, I want to talk about something. None of you did send me on this errand now. This is something I sent myself. But I did set out to talk about the Nigerian state, a sinking ship, the structural analysis of that state. It sounds a little unwieldy, so let me try and unpack it for you. The general thinking, the general thought of the average Nigerian, if you ask any one of us, even people like Obasanjo, and yet is one of the architects, everybody admits that our country is on the wrong trajectory. To varying extent, we all have our ideas as to what should be done about it, but the one thing we all appear to be unanimous about, whatever our final conclusion as to what the solution should be, there is a general, more or less unanimity of opinion as far as Nigerians are concerned that we are not in a good place and we need to start walking back so that we might not find ourselves in the direst of the predictions that have been handed down by informed minds, people who are privy to security reports. Everything they say suggests that we are heading towards Mogadishu. And everything we also see pretty much says the same thing. So, but for us to have any understanding of how to get out of where we are, it is very important that we also have a clear understanding of how we managed to bring ourselves to what is essentially a cul-de-sac. There is something most of us say glibly when we look, after you've intellectualized the Nigerian situation to a point, when you've cogitated on the issue for a season, you almost always arrive at the conclusion that Nigeria was designed to fail. This is something we've almost all agreed on. If you've spent any time thinking about the Nigerian issues, you would have logically, quote and unquote, come to the conclusion that it was designed to fail. But I have recently begun to interrogate this conclusion, and I am beginning to suspect that we were all wrong. Every system is designed to deliver something or the other. It is not by accident that the Nigerian system has consistently delivered what is delivering. It's been consistent. The most consistent part of Nigeria is the consistent failure of the Nigerian state. So yes, we were all correct to have said that it was designed to fail. But I am now getting to the point where I'm beginning to suspect that what we call failure or success is a relative term that must be placed in context. Nigeria has truly failed for the people who are ordinarily meant to be the citizens, but it has not failed for the rulers. Because how do you define failure? For them, failure is a function of poverty. And poverty for our rulers is about money. So they are constantly on a quest for money. And they profit from what we call failure. Because even though the electrical infrastructure might fail, somebody is making money from that failure. So even though the port system might fail the Nigerian exporter, the importer, it is actually working for someone. Even though, yes, you might spend hours in traffic, but the reasons why you spend so many hours in traffic is not because traffic can be made to flow. It's because some person or the other is profiting thereby. Now, building roads are not exactly rocket science, but that we haven't managed to do it is also a function of the fact that it pays somebody for it to be like that. Somebody is selling generators. Somebody is selling gas in canisters. For everything you and I would consider a problem in Nigeria, somebody is making money from it. My capacity to speak to you as I'm speaking to you has broken the back of a system. It simply means that I am not obliged to be in anybody's good books before I might reach out to a whole lot of people, even if I'm talking nonsense, which I hope I'm not. Now, so let's clear up that one. I really don't believe, and I think we should begin to pay attention to this. I don't believe that Nigeria was designed to fail because it's not failing for those to whom it is delivering value. It is from we that it is failing to deliver value and from whom it extracts value that we talk in terms of failure. But we can sit down and moan about failure, or we can deal with the problem and begin to address them instead of allowing those who are essentially our enslavers to frame the argument on our behalf. Nothing is designed to fail. Everything is designed to produce exactly what it produces. Nigeria is delivering exactly what it was designed to produce for whom it was designed to deliver value, our rulers. I have dealt with this issue and I don't want to derail today. And again, today is just a 15-minute thing because I don't want to be burning your data. So I'll move on to the issue of the place of vision in designing a nation, because we've talked about it being a sinking ship, and we said we'll do a structural analysis. Remember, so we mustn't forget the structure. Now, let us look at the structure of the Nigerian state. I said at the inaugural lecture on Saturday, I believe that was when we started out here, Saturday, I spoke as to 300 as to 36 states, 774 local governments. And I did allude to the fact that the very last constitution of Nigeria in which the people had any input was the 1963 constitution. That 1963 constitution delivered a total of 4 regions. It added an additional one. But immediately after the second coup and the subsequent civil war, what happened is that the hegemony that won the civil war began to recraft Nigeria and restructure it radically from where it was at the point of the state hijack or theft of 1966. What then happened is that Nigeria became the fiefdom of men with small minds. They had no lofty vision or goals. None of them was crazy enough to want to birth a Nigerian nation. There wasn't any Nigerian nation in the view of any one of them. Maybe there might have been one or two who had illusions of nationhood, particularly given the fact that the Middle Belt Officer Corps was useful at that point, and it was necessary to be speaking in terms of one north. So what happened was this. Men who had no vision began to shape Nigeria. And then they began to create states. The states they were creating, they were being created for considerations that were not necessarily altruistic in nature. They were being given more or less as rewards for collaboration. So Nigeria began a slide. I think we went to 12, and then 12 became 19. I think 19 became 21. I lost count. Last, we're now 36. So you've got 36 states. 36 states. The last time anyone sat down to discuss the foundation of the Nigerian state, as I have said already, remember, 1963. By 1999, that would be 36 years later, when Abdul Salam was relinquishing power, we had a structure comprising of 36 states. Now, Nigeria is the only federation in the entire world where the federal government creates federating units. So let's be clear about something. Nigeria is no longer a federation. Nigeria became the estate of a band of crooks and bandits in 1966, with varying degrees of civilian collaborators. And where we are today is that we have a situation where a total of 36 states, less than 5 of which are likely to be viable left to their own devices, have been created. They were not created with any altruistic reasons in mind. They were created in the names of peoples, and powers were exercised in the name of peoples. But the peoples in whose names these powers were exercised have been the worst recipient. They've been the recipient of the most brutal misrule in the hands of those who appropriated powers on their behalf. The aggregation of rights and its custody in the hands of those who have now become our rulers have assured that the role of the citizen in the Nigerian state has been dispensed with. And what we have today are the rulers and the ruled. When you wish to build a house, you will be guided by the material you have, the size of your land, and then the purpose to which you intend to put the house. If it is commercial, as in a shopping complex, or maybe even a public toilet, the purpose to which you intend to put the property would inform your design choices. You will tell your architect, I want this many number of toilets. I want this many number of rooms. You will look at your finances to decide how high you're going or how small the property will be. If you are also looking to sew a new dress, and if you're a man, you have only 5 years, you probably end up sewing a buba and shokoto. If you had 8 years, you'll be thinking of a babariga, but if you don't, you sew what you have. Once upon a time, you also cut your coat according to your size. Now it is cut your coat according to your cloth. These are the design imperatives that determine what you do or do not do when you design things. Look at Nigeria. How come we have designed a state where legislators in 36 houses of assembly live like lords and princes, come from constituencies where they have no electricity, no passable road, no healthcare facilities, no functional schools, but they live in style and they are public servants. The governors, they live in mansions or provided at state expense. Constitutionally, when they've left, they'll get the same entitlement as when they were there. We have created a super class. Our rulers are no longer part of us, which is why they kill themselves and they kill us to gain power. What kind of state are we running? The purpose of the state has become the maintenance of the ruling class in style. We can starve to death. Children can be out of schools. Today, we were going to talk, and I hope we have to an extent. I hope, beyond my belly aching, I hope I have dealt to an extent with the structural analysis of the Nigerian state, how we got to where we are, the design choices that informed the structure of the Nigerian state. 36 local governments, 700 and, oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. 774 local governments is enough to do anybody's head in. 36 states. And then, oh yeah, there is the Sultan in Aso Rock. So put it this way, you got 36 emirs, 774 district heads, and then you've got the district councils in each of, please, good night, everybody. You sleep well, but you do need to ponder the state. Good night, everybody. It's been a pleasure.